EA Interviews, episode 184.
Inspiration, transformation, success stories, and the Imperfect Action Round. 7 days a week. Join Mario Ficini for today's Expert Authority Effect interview.
How would you like to grow your business without sacrificing your faith, family, or your fitness? I have leadership expert, speaker, and trainer here on today's episode, Mr. Cory Lee, and he's going to be sharing with us exactly how you can do that. I'm excited to bring him up right after we thank our sponsor. Every business needs a book, including yours. Visit freebusinessbookpublishingcourse.com today to learn the 7 steps to publish and promote your nonfiction lead and profit-generating business book in 8 weeks. Once again, that's freebusinessbookpublishingcourse.com. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Cory Lee. Cory, how are you feeling today?
Mario, I am doing great. Thanks for inviting me on. I'm excited to get into this with you today. Thanks.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I can't wait to hear what you have to say, and let's just jump right into it. How do you feel people can keep their faith, family, and fitness? Why do you think so many people glaze over what I would say are 3 of the most important things in an entrepreneur's life?
Well, I think one of the things is that we get so focused on our business, we get into the business and we get going, and that's something that we're passionate about, right? We start the business because we are passionate about it. And we have this tendency to allow those other things that are important kind of get on the back burner. I know that's what happened to me in my life. And I think it's very easy for entrepreneurs to fall into that. But those are probably the 3 key things that really need to focus on, right? So, yeah.
Tell me about that. What happened with you?
Yeah. So my wife and I, so we had a short period of time, in 5-year period of time, we had 3 kids. We had 2 physical therapy practices and 4 gyms. And, we're just going all the time. And I can remember our oldest son at the time, I was going to leave, going to go coach one of our classes. And he would be going to bed shortly. And I was telling him good night. And I would see him in the morning. And one of the things he said to me was, "Daddy, you going to your house?" And I realized that, man, I was spending so much time at the gym, so much time in our business, that some of those things that are even more important were getting put on the back burner. And I didn't even realize it, right? It took a 4-year-old to call me out, right?
Wow.
But I think that happens to a lot of entrepreneurs too, not intentionally, but I think it's one of those slow fades. So
what's one thing you would suggest to, I'd say, recognize it first off, and then 2, prevent it?
Yeah, for me, I think what I think is, if you have an accountability partner, if you have a friend, if you have maybe a coach or a mentor, or what we've done is we've created a mastermind group for entrepreneur men, and that kind of help with that. And the reason we created that was, I know when my wife and I opened up our first business, we had a ton of excitement and a ton of enthusiasm, but Mario, we had 0 business knowledge and business experience. And
what makes you think you need that? I mean, all you need is excitement?
Well, we lasted for a little bit on that, but for us to really grow, we had to go to that next level, right? I think you can make it for a little bit on excitement and enthusiasm.
I would agree too. I remember when I went full time, I was just so tired of everything. My game plan was literally do everything opposite I did the year before.
Why not, right?
It's a plan. I wouldn't say it's the best, but it got me through the first year, and
and you
just
there,
figure
right?
it out.
Yeah, you figure it out, exactly. But we knew also that, as the business owners and as the leaders in that business, our business would never exceed our ability to lead it, right? So we started reading the books, we went to the courses, the seminars, and all the webinars. And we had people that could teach us and train us from a distance, but I did not have that guy or that individual or that group of guys that I could go to with my questions, with my business ideas, or a group of guys who could hold me accountable to my commitments, or that would serve as guardrails as I wanted to grow that business, but not at the expense of my faith, my family, or my fitness. And I think just having other people in your life who you've allowed to speak into you and say, "Hey, I see you veering. I think you need to get back on the path. I think that, and also will help prevent some of that too. Yeah.
How have you seen it made a difference in the lives of the people who have joined your mastermind and come on board with it?
Yeah. So one just guy really sticks out to me. He had he still does. He has a landscape business and doing really, really good. And as you can imagine, you're doing landscaping for people when they get off work. They probably got questions. They call, and he was constantly on his phone. And kind of like in my situation, his daughter had called him out on it. You're always on your phone. But within that group, we've kind of come up with kind of ways for him to focus and to segment his time to focus in on the important things. And we call it, you probably do it too, but time block, during this time, this is what you do. And then whenever it's home, it's shut it off. And when he gets home at 5, he turns it off for about 3 hours. And then if there's anything important, he'll turn it back on when the kids go back to sleep. But really scheduling that time and being important for him. That's just one of the ones that have stood out to me that jump out. There.
So how many years have you been doing the mastermind now?
For the mastermind group, we actually just started the mastermind group about 2 months ago. But we've been doing coaching, one-on-one coaching with entrepreneurs probably the past 3 or 4 years. And we saw the need for the mastermind groups because you get other men in the same group who are successful, who are driven and intelligent, and thinking into your business idea. I mean, that's pretty powerful. So we started this about 2 months ago and have been seeing pretty good results with it to this point. And I know it's going to be powerful going forward too. So.
Oh, absolutely. Masterminds are one of the most powerful things you can do because like you're saying, you have those people who, maybe there's no maybe about this. Fitness wise, you have more of a strength. But maybe with the filming side or publishing side, maybe I have more of the strength. And I say, hey, what should I be doing over here? And you say, what should I be doing over here? And then Merry Christmas, everyone's happy.
Yeah.
And then you throw in another 8, 10, 12, 20, 200 people. I don't know if a 200 is a mastermind, but let's say 30, 40 or less. It can be. I'll correct myself. For sake of argument, get around smarter people and good things happen.
That's right.
Who are you really looking for? Obviously, you said men.
Yeah. So, and we cap hours at 10. We found that to be good. We've got a very systematic way we go about it. So 10 is a good number to be able to, you get the think tank of the other guys, but you also have your time in the growth seat is what we call it as well. And you're talking about different perspectives. Kind of the way I talk about it with the guys in the group is I think about it like a beach ball. If I were to hold up a beach ball to you, Mario, I may see red and yellow, but on your side, you're seeing blue and white, right? And I'm just thinking this beach ball is 2 colors, but you're giving me a different perspective. And that's what the mastermind group does, is helps us all to see the entire picture here, right? And in a way forward. So we've intentionally created this particular group for male entrepreneurs, men who are trying to start their business or have been going in their business, who want to grow that business. But again, not at the expense of their faith, their family, or their fitness. And you probably know as well, men, we like to live in isolation, but isolation, my friend, is the enemy, and we want to destroy isolation. So.
Why is that?
Yeah. I think in isolation, one, you can create worst case scenarios, but you're also relying on your own thinking, right? I love ideas. I come up with all kinds of ideas, and I go to my wife, and she'll get right to the point. Yeah, that's stupid. That'll never work, right? But with the thinking of other men who can think into that and help you think into it, have you thought about this? Have you looked at it from this angle? It can take a good idea to a great idea, and also I may think I have a great thing going, but somebody else may have been down that path before, who can kind of shine some light on some stumbling blocks I may need to be mindful of. So I think that's where some power comes from, and staying away from isolation there too.
Absolutely. There's that quote about, experience is learning from your own mistakes. Wisdom is learning from others. And like you said, you can go, hey, I'm all excited about this thing. And you get 9 out of 10 people say, no, don't. And you learn why. And it's like that may have just saved you, a couple $100,000 in a year or two or more of your life.
100%. Some of the best learning experiences I've had in business are some dumb mistakes. And it'd been nice if I had somebody there to come alongside of me on that. But you learn and grow too. So if you see every experience as a learning experience, then there neither is good nor bad, right? It's just a growth experience. One of the things we talk about in leadership is that you hear people say that experience is the best teacher, but it's evaluated experience that's the best teacher, because that allows the lessons to catch up with you, and taking time to reflect on those things too.
Yeah, it's interesting because while I'm thankful for my experience, obviously you try to mitigate it. However, it's definitely given me more confidence over the years, without a doubt.
100%. I had a guy ask me the other day if I would go back and change some of those experiences, some of those failures. And the answer is no. I can't, right? But if I would go back and to change those experiences, then I would lose the lesson as well. But it'd been nicer too if I could learn that from somebody.
That's an interesting take on it, because I've thought about that too. And it's like, I'm very thankful. And I put something on my vision board when I was 18, and I'm still working on it. And now that it's a few years later, I think about that. I was like, would you have liked to been at that point at the time you expected? And it's like, no, I don't want to lose the lesson, but yeah, I'd like the time back. However, would you still have the same financial, emotional, mental, spiritual, physical, and relational aptitude that you have now? Because just getting the goal, no matter what it is, okay, that's all well and good, but if you don't have the emotional or mental, would you appreciate it? If you don't have the financial, will you keep it? If you don't have the spiritual, will you enjoy it? And it's like, man, that's a quick thing.
Yeah, that's good, man. The journey, I think many times, I know I do, we want to skip that journey and get right to the end, right? We're in this microwave society where we have instant popcorn and instant oatmeal and Instagram, right? And we want that goal right now. And but man, the journey is great, right? Like if I look back over some of those experiences too, man, the journey is awesome. So I like that. That was great, Mario.
Oh, you just got the number one question I'm going to ask you.
Uh-oh.
It's a couple questions from now, but you just gave birth to it, and I know exactly what I'm going to ask you, and it'll make sense in probably about 3 minutes. I did want to ask you more about the faith side. How important is it, and tell me more about what you're doing with it. How important is it to you and what you're doing with it, especially in the mastermind and everyday life?
Yeah. So, man, the faith component, I would say if there's if you're having a barrier in any area of life, I would say it starts with the faith component. You're probably got some blockage in that faith component. To me, that's the number one thing, is the faith component. It very much drives the decisions that we make. If you look in the book of Proverbs, there's tons of wisdom right there. And that's kind of where the mastermind group was birthed from, as I started to dig in and study some of that. Proverbs talks about that without wise counsel, plans fail, but with many advisors, they succeed. But I think the faith component is the cornerstone of my business and the growth, and that's going to attract certain guys, and it's not going to attract certain guys, and we're okay with that. You don't have to have necessarily faith, but it's very much a cornerstone of everything that we do within the mastermind group. It's kind of traced throughout everything. So.
I love hearing that. Tell me about, how do you handle if someone I know you're not going to treat them bad if they're not interested or it's a turnoff, but what if someone's like on the fence? Because I've heard this one a lot, and I really want to know your perspective. If someone goes, well, I'm not really, I'm more spiritual, or I was into that, or they're just a little lost, let's say. I don't know any better way to say it. And it's like, I believe most people do have some spirituality. They're rooted in the right way. But again, just like life events, just in business, there's people that say, I've tried advertising. You get burned, whatever your tolerance is, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 times. How many times are you going to keep going? I have no doubt it's the same thing with faith. They believe in it. They want to, but they've been burned one too many times and they're just lost. How do you help them?
Yeah. And, I would say just like with anything, but especially with faith, you got to get off the fence and go all in, right? There's a quote, if there's hesitancy, if you're not committed, there's hesitancy, a chance to draw back, right? As long as you're on the fence, you kind of waffle. And definitely, man, we unconditionally love all people, right? All people. But I'm not going to change our mastermind group or coaching for anyone specific. It's going to attract certain people. And some people aren't going to be attracted to that. But to your question, I would say go all in, burn the boats, right? You've heard the saying, got the general got him up on the shoreline. He says, burn the boats. We've got one way, and that's victory, right? Or death, right? We can't retreat. Well, I say you have to get off the fence on one side or the other and be fully committed. And only once you're committed are you all in. And I think that's in business too. We could go down the route of entrepreneurship and people doing the side hustle, and it's the same thing. But faith component, 100%. You got to go all in. Yeah.
I love that. And I was thinking of, I heard the quote through business, but it's very true with faith also.
Yeah.
John 3:16.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask you, as far as the people that you're saying to go all in with the faith component, isn't it interesting with the entrepreneurship, the similarities between them both?
Big time. There's a lot of faith in opening up your own business, right? I mean, and there's a lot of action that you have to take too. And a lot of it is you just have to go. I talk about this in goal setting, but it's the same thing in faith, right? So a lot of us, we have this goal, right? And the goal is way up here, and we don't know how we're going to get there, but we do know at least one thing that we can do. We know one thing we can do right now, and we're standing at the bottom of this dark staircase, and the only thing that we have lit up is one step. And we say, I'm not going to take that step until I can see the entire staircase. But that entire staircase isn't going to be lit up until you take that first step. And why should they be lit up when you haven't been obedient to the first step? It's the same thing with our faith, and it's the same thing with entrepreneurship. You're not going to know all the steps. The steps are revealed to you as you act on faith and move forward, whether in your business or spiritual life. So
you're making me picture that Indiana Jones scene where he's walking across the cavern.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's very true though that you won't see probably the next 20 steps, but you don't need to. It's just, I'm thinking about starting a business. Well, good. Step 1, start it. Well, what about You're worried about stuff 5 years down the road. You need to start.
That's right.
And if you've started and you're 5, 10, 20, 30 years into it, you need to continue, because there's many times, one of the questions when I'm doing interviews, people go, when did you start your business? I love going to which time.
Yeah. Which one?
Yeah, there's been a few, but I believe it's all rooted in that faith and just going back to it, going, hey, here's why I'm here. Here, I'm supposed to serve people. It might be a bad day, but it doesn't mean it's a bad month or year.
Yeah. Yeah. One other point on that, one of my core beliefs is that every single one of us have our own unique gifts, talents, and abilities. We have our own ideas, and when we don't step into those, this world needs those gifts and talents. They need every one of ours, right? They need Mario's, they need mine, they need yours, right? And when we don't step into that, we not only rob ourselves of something amazing, we rob the whole world of something amazing. So I always challenge people, you got an idea. Where do you think that idea came from, right? And who do you think that idea came from? And what's at least one thing you can do to bring that idea forward? What's one thing you can do right now? Yeah.
Well, you're talking to me right there. If no one else in expert authority world, but I know it is resonating because it's the truth, and it's rooted in truth. But thank you for that.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
All right, so we're going to do the wheel of whatever, and then thank our sponsor because you, like I said, you told me the question, and this is the wheel of whatever. It always ends on the spot it needs to. Right at the right point on the right question. Look at that. It did it again. Yours is, what is the biggest lesson you learned from your experiences over the years?
Man, I've learned a lot, right? I really have.
You can do two if you want.
Well, the one that jumps out to me, and probably the one I learned early on, is that as the business owner, that I am that lid on my business, right? John Maxwell talks about it. I'm the lid on my business, and my business will never surpass my ability to lead it. My team will never surpass my ability to lead them. But as I grow and develop, then the potential of my team grows as well. And that's exactly what I saw happen, was as I grew, as I invested in myself, then our business did grow. And then the other one is, comes to hiring. Make that a very slow and methodical process. Don't just hire the first person that walks in the door and says, I need a spot. I need you, come work for me, right? Be very methodical about that.
Those are, I would agree 100%. Those are two very good ones. I had no idea what you were going to say, but those were I knew it was going to be good, but those were very, very good. Thank you for sharing that. All right, we're going to thank our sponsor and come back with the imperfect action round. You've heard me say every business needs a book, including yours. And it's true. And that's why you should visit freebusinessbookpublishingcourse.com today to learn the 7 steps to publish and promote your nonfiction lead and profit-generating business book in 8 weeks. But you know what? Don't take my word for it. Take it from a few of my authors, like Lori.
And I went from having an idea and a possibility to actually getting my book published.
Or Catherine.
Thank you for making my mom #1 best-selling author.
Or Mary Alice.
What he got done for me in 3 days regarding my book launch, unmanageable.
John Cody.
I've worked with Mario over the phone and online, and he's been very helpful in getting me where I needed to go with promoting my books.
Rocio.
There's no way in the world I would have been able to do this with somebody else. Again, I've attempted it in the past. It didn't serve me. As a matter of fact, I ended up more frustrated than anything. So this has been a very seamless process.
Adele.
If you're looking for an amazing business coach, I highly recommend Mario Ficini.
Or Bill Benner.
I can't make a higher recommendation than to work with Mario Ficini. He has been great for me, and right now, I won't work with anybody else except for Mario.
Hey, their words, not mine. Visit freebusinessbookpublishingcourse.com to get started now, and I look forward to hearing your transformation as the next video success story. Once again, that's freebusinessbookpublishingcourse.com. And we are back with the imperfect action round. Cory, are you ready to take imperfect action?
Let's do it. Let's do it, Mario.
Number 1 question. What is the fastest path to profits?
In entrepreneurship, I think realizing that you, as the entrepreneur, are the biggest investment you can make is investing in yourself. Like I was saying, for me, as I grew and developed, our business grew and developed as well. So I say read the books, find you a coach, find you a mentor, do the mastermind groups, whatever, go to the courses and the seminars, but invest in yourself, but also don't leave your team behind as well. Invest in your team to develop other leaders. I say that's the fastest path to cash. is invest in yourself, invest in your team.
Excellent. Number 2, what is the biggest problem you see your prospects making and the fastest way they can fix it?
The biggest that I see is lack of clarity. Entrepreneurs, we have this idea, but many times it's a vague idea. So one of the things that people will come to me and we start coaching is helping them get crystal clear on what exactly kind of business do you want, right? And people will say, well, I want a profitable one. Well, of course, right? But at what cost and what expense, right? So really the question is, what kind of life do you want to create? Because your business should serve you, not you serve it. So getting crystal clear on what kind of life that you want to have, gaining clarity around that, I think.
That is awesome. And thank you for the reminder. All right, number 3, what is the best way to maximize customer lifetime value?
I think exceed expectations. You probably hear the cliche, under promise and over deliver. But if you diligently seek ways to exceed expectations, what happens is you move from this competitive plane to the creative plane. And this competitive plane says there's lack, there's limitation, there's scarcity, but this creative plane says there's abundance. And when you're on this creative plane, you no longer have to compete. There's abundance all around. And if you doubt that, just kind of go outside and look up at a tree and try to count the leaves on one tree. Or bend down at your feet and try to count the blades of grass at your feet, right? There's abundance all around. We don't have to compete. All we have to do is create. We have to create ways to exceed our clients' expectations. So to me, that's key, just being diligent about that.
Excellent. You had mentioned the importance of books and mentors and coaching just a few moments ago. What are some books that you would highly recommend that have changed your life?
The first book I ever read, probably ever, not even in school, right? I don't think I read a book in school. I did the whole watch the movie thing, but a book I would recommend is called Traveler's Gift by Andy Andrews. I love that book. It's really good. And then Rich Dad, Poor Dad's another good one. And then probably anything by John Maxwell. If you're looking to develop leaders, and I think that's my desire, is to develop leaders. I think entrepreneurs, that's what we should desire, is to become a type of leader that other people willfully follow because of who you are and what you represent. And if you want to be that kind of leader, anything by John Maxwell is good. So, but Traveler's Gift is probably my number 1. So Think and Grow Rich is in there too.
Excellent.
I probably named about 30 of them, I think, Mario. Sorry about that.
No, if there's a few more, feel free.
Yeah, I would say Think and Grow Rich and As a Man Thinketh, they're good too.
Oh, also another good one. Well, thank you for those recommendations, Cory. Where can we learn more about you?
Yeah, so Mario, I'm a cookies on the bottom shelf kind of guy. You got to keep it simple, right? And so what I've done, I've created a website. It's Cory Lee Leadership, and Cory is Cory, but it's CoryLeeLeadership.com/expert authority, all one word. And on there, it's got the little symbols where you can follow me on any of the social media platforms. I've got some information about legacy builders, but also wanted to give your listeners 2 free gifts on there. There's 2 downloads that they can have. One is a personal assessment. It's one of the things I can give to our coaching clients. But it's really questions kind of assess where you're at in your goals and how balanced your life is. And then the other one is a fun one. It's a spousal survey, right? So you give it to your spouse. They answer the question. It creates some really good communication, and communication is key. So I have that there for your listeners, and I appreciate it, Mario.
Well, thank you for both of those. They both sound very interesting, and I am looking forward to checking them out. And thanks for keeping it simple, too.
Simple is key, right?
Absolutely. I'm very much the same way. What's the most efficient and easiest, funnest process you can possibly do? And when you made that comment about, I'm more of a movie than read the book, I'm like, yeah, I got through 9th grade English pretty well, just had to keep going to Blockbuster and get Romeo and Juliet, Great Expectations, whatever was out.
That's right. That's right. That's good stuff.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure, and I'm looking forward to connecting with you even further. But thank you for sharing with Expert Authority World.
Thanks, Mario. I really enjoyed it.
All right, Expert Authority World, we have another great episode here today. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day, and God bless. You're already the expert, but have you transformed your expertise into a tangible asset that will generate and qualify leads while increasing profit for you 24/7? And if so, how well are you promoting it? With the Expert Authority Effect publishing method, it's easier and faster than ever. Visit freebusinessbookpublishingcourse.com today to learn the 7 steps to publish and promote your nonfiction lead and profit-generating business book in 8 weeks. Visit freebusinessbookpublishingcourse.com to get started now. Once again, that's freebusinessbookpublishingcourse.com. Hey, thanks for listening to today's episode. I hope you got a lot out of it. I know I sure did. If you haven't done so already, I invite you to subscribe to the show. And also be sure to check out eainterviews.com for complete show notes, the full interview video experience, links to the resources we mentioned, and more. Have a blessed day, and I'll see you tomorrow.